up guys, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video we are going to be doing a girl talk. So grab your glasses, I got mine right here. Yes ma'am. I'm drinking the Capriccio Rosé Sangria, y'all. Every one of these are freaking bomb. These are so good. My favorite one is probably the green one, which is watermelon, but yeah, they all good. I asked some questions on my Instagram story, which I'm going to be answering questions and topics that people gave me. So we're going to be talking about some life stuff. Cheers, first sip. This one's strong, but it's really good. I posted on my community tab to go to my Instagram story or comment below there, but I don't know if y'all didn't see it or if nobody wanted to respond. I don't know. Y'all hurt my feelings. So make sure y'all keep up with me. Make sure y'all check my community tab every now and then, because sometimes I do like little updates on there. I might ask questions. I might, ask y'all which videos I'm gonna post. So if you're not following me on Instagram, first of all, you can do that, because that's where you're gonna get the most like active Chanel, because I'm always posting on my story and stuff. But also, if you don't have Instagram or whatever and you just want to keep up with me, you can definitely go to my community tab on my page. The sun is going down, so let's go ahead and get into this video while the sun is still out and the lighting is still pretty good. So all right, so first topic, somebody asked me about cutting people off. I don't have a hard time cutting people off. And I'm not saying that in a way like I'm just very nonchalant and stuff like that, but I feel like if you're not adding value to my life, or you're adding like an undesirable thing to my life, like toxicity, stress, stuff like that, I'm just gonna stop talking to you. And that's just that on that. It's different, obviously, like when you're in a relationship with this person, we have ties to them, just like your baby daddy or something like that. If it's just like a friend, cutting friends off, it's like at a certain point in a friendship, you have to think about, like, maybe you're growing apart, like y'all aren't benefiting from each other anymore, anything like that. Y'all aren't really adding value to each other a lot, so you're not really going to be missing out if you cut this person off. But sometimes, you're just going to miss this person, and it really just depends on the individual. I can't tell you to cut somebody off because whatever, but it's like, if you feel like this person is adding like negativity in any way, shape, or form to your life, then I would say just cut them off. I can't tell you how to cut people off, because like I said, I literally just stopped talking to people. Like, I do my little grieving period and I get over it. I've lost very close friends. I've lost, obviously I've had breakups and stuff like that, but even family, it's like, you gotta go. Like, if you're not adding value to my life, you got to go. So that's pretty much how it is for me. I feel like when you look at it in that way, it's a lot easier, because a lot of times we try to find the good in people, which I do a lot, honestly. I try to find the good in people, and it's like, oh, but they have this certain quality, and oh, but they do this and this and this. But you have to really take a step back and think, like, is it really worth it in the long run to keep this person in my life? Like, are we outweighing the bad and the good? That's kind of how it is. So all right, the next topic, somebody said, does size matter? For me personally, because I can only speak on how I feel about it, like, to a certain extent. Because at the end of the day, like, as long as it feel good to you, I guess, I don't know. It don't gotta be humongous. But yeah, like, it's personal preference. Like, some people just, to some people size matters a lot, and to other people it's like, and I'm like that kind of thing. Like, it's not the most important thing, but sometimes it does kind of add to a guy, I guess. Okay, so the next one, somebody asked me, how do I know if my friend is jealous of me? So I feel like jealousy can be pretty tricky, because sometimes, like, they might not be jealous, they just really honestly don't like you. But I feel like the signs of a jealous friend is, like, they're always making little slick comments and stuff, like they might joke about something that you're sensitive about, and they know that you're sensitive about it, but they always seem to bring up your insecurities in a joke and stuff like that, and like pretend to laugh it off and all that. I find that people, when they joke about insecurities and stuff like that personal stuff, like, that's how they really feel. I used to have a friend, and she would make jokes and comments. It's like, because like we was trying to plan a girls trip or whatever, and she was like, oh yeah, you sure you gonna be okay without your man, because you know he can't come, ha ha ha. And it's like, I'm not even like clingy to my boyfriend like that. I still can hang out with my friends, I still can do whatever, and he doesn't care, and vice versa. Like, I don't have to be up under him. I go to Atlanta all the time for like weeks or whatever, and he doesn't come. So it's like, we're secure in our relationship. So for her to joke like that, it's like, are you jealous that I have a boyfriend or what? Because we was all cool anyway. Like, it was weird. I feel like when people start making those little comments and stuff like that, you really have to start watching what they say. Like, you have to peep it, because it's like, at a certain point, jokes, they don't really be joking. That's all I'm gonna say. How do you practice self-love while in a relationship? So one thing I can say about relationships, especially like when you live with your significant other and stuff, it can be very, very easy for you to become codependent on your partner. And I really try not to get to that point where it's like, I don't want to go out and do stuff if he's not there. So I think the main thing is just like taking time out of your relationship to focus on yourself at the same time while you're in the relationship. Like recently I started my, I went on my first solo date, and you know, I'm trying to like take the train more because I usually rely on my boyfriend to drive me around and stuff like that. So I'm trying to work on just taking care of myself without having to rely on my boyfriend for attention, affection, and stuff like that. So I feel like if you really want to, like, you know, practice self-love if you're in a relationship, you should just take the time to do it, and just like make sure you set aside time to take yourself on a date or to go to the movies by yourself or do stuff like that. And a lot of times we're not comfortable doing stuff like that, especially when we have a significant other, because it's like, why would I want to go out by myself when I have my boyfriend? But like I said, codependency is real, and I feel like that can become toxic to a certain point sometimes. And also it's like, you should be able to go out and enjoy your life without always being up under your significant other. I love my boyfriend to death, and I love being up under him, but at the same time, it's like, we have to be individuals in the relationship too. Just take yourself out on dates, all kind of stuff. And I was definitely out of my comfort zone when I did it, but after a few minutes of just sitting there thinking, it wasn't so bad. I mean, I'm just eating. Like, I don't have to eat with my boyfriend. I can sit down at a restaurant and eat when he's at work or something like that. So yeah. How do you feel about mixing friend groups? So it really just depends on the friends, because I have some friends, and you know, they're my friends for certain things. Like, you have that friend that you can go out and eat with, you have that friend that you can party with, you have that friend that you can go to museums and do stuff like that with. So I have friends for everything. Like, all my friends hold a different purpose, and it makes it like a complete friend group. And we can all hang out, but then there's some friends that maybe, you know, you might be friends with people who are a little more antisocial and stuff like that, and they don't really do well in like a larger social setting or anything like that. So you really just have to look at it and like observe the situation and just see who you can mix and who you can't, because everybody's not gonna mix. Some people are like oil and water, so you have to really make sure you're seeing how your friends interact with other people and stuff like that before you just throw everybody together in a big pot and try to mix it, because sometimes, like I said, it's not gonna mix. I don't have a problem in general with mixing friend groups, but you just have to make sure everybody's going to get along, because sometimes just because somebody's friends with you don't mean they're going to be friends with your other friends. Like, everybody does not get along. So it just said finding yourself. So I guess if you want advice on finding yourself, I'm still trying to find myself. I feel like I've been evolving and changing so much over the last couple of years that I'm constantly have to like relearn myself and what my pet peeves are, what I enjoy, hobbies, stuff like that. Because, you know, you're going to lose interest in certain stuff, you're going to gain interest in certain stuff. I'm growing older and I'm maturing more, so it's like I'm just not the same person I was like in high school, or even when I first moved to New York. So I feel like in order to really find yourself, we have to separate what we want for ourselves and what other people want for us, and put them in like two separate boxes, because sometimes we can let people deflect onto us and stuff like that, and like push their insecurities onto us, and we can take that as like, oh, this is what I need to be doing, but that's not what's in your heart. So you have to really figure out what it is that you want out of life, and you have to seek that. So like, for example, parents, like our parents can push stuff on, oh, you should be a doctor because they make a lot of money and you can provide for the family, and you should do this, but you're not interested at all in the medical field. And I feel like a lot of people put themselves in there to please everybody else, and then at the end of their life, and they're on their deathbed and they're thinking, they're like, I didn't do anything in my life that I wanted to do, and then they end up regretting a lot. So I feel like everybody should just, especially in this day and age, I feel like that traditional mindset is starting to kind of shift out of our generation. So I feel like everybody should just take the time to really figure out what it is that they enjoy individually, and to kind of work on that and finding themselves in that way instead of like, you know, letting other people push their ideologies on us. There are moments in my life where I'm like, you know, this is what this person wants me to do and this and that, and it just all starts to become confusing. So you have to really separate what you want, what your values are, what your ideologies are, what your principles are, and stuff like that, and kind of let that shape you into finding yourself. How to know if your significant other is cheating? So as far as I know, I've never been in a relationship where I've gotten cheated on. No, now I'm really thinking, have I gotten cheated on? As far as I know, I've not gotten cheated on. But I have enough friends who have and stuff like that, unfortunately, to know the signs. Because every guy that has cheated on my friends, or girl, every person who's cheated on my friends have all showed the same signs. Like, they might start being extra mean or extra nice to you out of the blue. Out of the freaking blue. They start doing stuff like, oh, they're buying flowers for you because I was thinking about you, and they've never done anything like that. Please. Oh, or like I said, they might start being extra mean to you, and they're just like having an attitude. You ask them a simple question, how was your day? Oh, why? That kind of stuff. They start getting really like distant. And a lot of times you just have a feeling, like you just have a gut feeling. If you have to question it, and okay, because some people really are very insecure and have really bad trust issues, so they question everybody. But if you're not like that and you have been going good with this person for a while, and then all of a sudden in your stomach you're like, something ain't right, I feel like it's somebody else there, then 9 times out of 10 you're probably right, honestly. Because like, we know, and a lot of times humans will ignore red flags and signs of stuff because we don't want it to be true, but we know that it's true. So gut feeling, acting weird out of the blue, stuff like that, those are usually signs that somebody's cheating on you. What else? Hiding their phone. You can never access their phone, even if you're not the type of person. I don't go through my boyfriend's phone, but out the blue one day, because he don't give me a reason to. If he just start like turning it, or it's always upside down, or every time his phone ring, he running out the other room so he can go get the phone before I can see who's calling and stuff like that, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're getting cheated on. How to let go of a toxic relationship. Y'all love asking about toxic relationships. Are y'all okay? Alright, so I was in a toxic relationship, but I feel like my situation was a little bit different because I actually did want to leave him the whole time, and I did not want to be with him. Watch my story time if you don't know. But it's like, it's different levels to it. Like, are you living with this person? Do y'all have a child? Are y'all married? You know, like, it's just so many levels to it. But a standard relationship with like no ties or whatever, it's not that easy to walk away from somebody that you've committed time to. Let's get that straight. Like, it's not. Even for somebody like me who finds it easy to move on, you dwell on the amount of time that you've just wasted, and you might try your best to make it work just so that you don't feel like you missed out on that time. And I see it happen so much with my friends sometimes. It's like, I understand, but you have to think about, like, are you gonna, like, you know, let these 3 years that you've already wasted affect the rest of your life, and you're gonna force yourself to stay with this person even longer, so maybe 15 years from now it still doesn't work out, and look how much more now you've wasted 18 years. Like, I feel like we have to think about it in that aspect. Love is not enough. Love is not enough. There's so many factors to a relationship, and a lot of toxic relationships, they're like, oh, but he loves me, but I love him. And it's like, love is not enough. There has to be respect, trust, there has to be communication, there has to be so many things in a relationship to make it work other than love. You can't just love somebody. The biggest thing is that you have to really know your self-worth, and you have to be ready to leave a relationship, because you can't say, oh, I'm gonna leave this person, I'm gonna leave this person, you're constantly getting back with them. You have to have the strength to actually get up and say, I'm done with this, I'm moving on. And it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt, but you have to take that time to heal. The sooner you get it done, the faster you can move on with your life. It's very easy when you have no ties to this person. With kids, you have to deal with this person for like almost the rest of your life, because y'all have a child together, at least until your child is an adult and they can communicate on their own with this person. But it's just so many layers and so many, it's such a broad thing to discuss, because like, Y'all killing me with the toxic stuff. Remove yourself from toxic situations as soon as you can. I'm telling you, the sooner you do it, the sooner you can move on with your life. Another thing actually that I forgot to mention that I think about, like when you stay in toxic relationships for a long time, I also feel like a lot of people are afraid of change. When you've gotten used to this certain person being around and the way that they behave and the way that they treat you and stuff like that, it becomes almost normal, even though it's not normal to be mistreated, but in your head, in your life, that's your normal. So for you to think like, oh, now I have to go and learn somebody else in the way that they are, even like if you have to just learn how to be alone. A lot of people are afraid of that, and you have to overcome that fear of change in order to really move on from any relationship, that, especially one that you've been in for a while. Because you've gotten so used to this person, they've become your normal, that now that it's time to be without them, you really don't know how. So I can understand that a lot. I can understand that because I've definitely held on to relationships for that reason, and I shouldn't have. Definitely have been there and done that. All right, and the last thing that we're going to talk about today is TikTok, because I've mentioned in multiple videos that I hate TikTok and I think it's toxic. So we're going to finally talk about that because somebody asked me, why do you think TikTok is toxic? TikTok is the most toxic social media app. TikTok is the one that makes me feel like worse about myself. I feel like TikTok glorifies pretty people. And when you're already struggling with your self-image and you're constantly seeing like people be glorified for the way that they look, it can definitely tarnish your image of yourself a little bit more because you start comparing yourself and this and that. Not only that, but if you are a creator on TikTok and you post videos, people will literally pick apart so many things. Like, it's so unnecessary. People feel a lot bolder on TikTok. I feel like people talk the most shit on TikTok. I feel like it's just a toxic app. And unfortunately for me, because I'm pursuing the social media industry and stuff like that, I have to be on TikTok. So I kind of try to put my mind at ease, especially with the type of content I post. I feel like I'm not going to get as much scrutiny for it. But before I like revamped and rebranded my page and deleted a lot of videos and stuff, I used to get a lot of scrutiny for the stuff I posted. I was posting Black Lives Matter stuff. I was posting my life story about how I moved to New York, my toxic ex and all kind of stuff. And people just will pick it apart. They will find a problem with anything on that app. And it's very annoying, and like I just prefer not to deal with that. So yeah, I've gotten picked apart. I've gotten bullied, harassed, all kind of stuff on TikTok. I've had people on TikTok maybe not like something that I posted, and so they'll run to Instagram and DM me from a fake page and tell me about myself, all kind of stuff. And I feel like it's really not that serious. It's not that deep, and it's just annoying and irritating. I just don't like stuff like that. It just pisses me off. So I just try my best to avoid any kind of whatever with TikTok. I'll post little things here and there, but TikTok is not my primary app. I'm definitely on Instagram and YouTube more. So that's just how I feel. I don't know if y'all agree, because yeah, if you don't post on TikTok, I don't really think you get as much of that side of it. But y'all, TikTok is toxicity at its finest. Like seriously, it's really bad sometimes. Even on other people's posts, I'll see it and I'm like, people just go out of their way to be so hateful on that app. It's freaking ridiculous. They need to have much better guidelines than they do. People go on there to express themselves and all kind of stuff. Y'all can see I'm very passionate about this. Like, and they'll just tear you apart for no reason. Like, you think you're just posting something because you enjoyed it or stuff like that. And as much as people want to say, oh, you shouldn't care what other people think, it's hard sometimes when they say certain things that might trigger insecurity in you or something like that. Like, it's very toxic. And I'm over it. And I'm only posting on there because I have to. If a video blows up, I don't even read my comments anymore. It's like, better left unread, but the less I know, the better. I'm just posting, getting my little likes, comments, whatever, and going about my day. So y'all also got a lot of questions for like couple-y kind of questions, and I will be much more comfortable answering some of them with John. So I have been supposed to do a truth or drink. I'm going to finally try to get that done for you guys within the next month. We've been having a lot going on. We've been having Rylan, and obviously I'm not going to have both of us in here drinking, taking shots constantly, and our child is here. So I'm going to try to get that out to you guys as soon as possible. And I want to do another girl talk, y'all. Like I said, keep up with me on my community tab if you want to follow me on Instagram. but I think you should be following me on Instagram, so you can go and do that too. The sun is setting. That means it's time for me to wrap this video up. I enjoy these kind of videos, and I want you guys to ask me questions. I want to kind of connect with you guys more, answer stuff, maybe give y'all advice about some things that you're going through, whatever. So we're gonna keep it going. I will see you guys in the next video. I love you. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Give me a subscribe if you have not, and turn your post notifications on so you'll get notified every time I post a new video. Bye.